Hello, and welcome to a very ill-advised 400th episode of Podcasting as Praxis. I'm David, my pronouns are he and him.
I'm Jamie, my pronouns are he and him.
I'm Rob, mine are he and him.
And I'm
That's
Alistair,
right,
my
you are.
pronouns are also... my pronouns are also he and him. And this is possibly the most ill-advised fucking cultural committee we have ever done. And
Which
do you know
is
whose fault it
saying
was?
fucking something.
Well, you know, it wasn't my fault. Like, it was...
Yeah,
You guys
introduce
chose
yourself
it.
so people know whose fault it was.
Yeah, so I feel like my name's on the episode, but just in case. Hi, I'm Sinan, my pronouns are they and them, and I watched this film when I was 15, because my mate who worked at the cinema got free tickets because he worked at the cinema and said, do you want to watch this film with me? And I said yes. And that was, what, 17 years ago? And now this is happening.
I am offering us one last chance to talk about Keir Starmer fucking it. Please,
No.
can we just talk about that instead? I don't want to do
You can-
this.
You can thank
was
my
it-
friend, Andy,
No.
who I won't say the surname of.
No.
Fuck
No, it
you,
doesn't
Andy.
work that way.
Wait.
Fuck. Yeah, no, more to the point, fuck you, sinner. And you don't get to do, like,
Yeah, that's
transitive
right.
properties of guilt. It is primarily your fault.
No, you
and it's
absolutely
Jamie's
do
fault
in
for,
this
like,
specific case.
dragging this
I
fucking
feel like
dead
I
cat
absolutely-
into my podcast.
In a way,
brought
isn't
up
it the
offhand
fault?
in a previous episode, so it's your fault.
In a way, isn't it really the fault of Jesus? Because without Christianity, the whole law behind vampires wouldn't have existed, and therefore this movie wouldn't have existed. So I'm just throwing it out there.
And also, Jesus saw the sins of every human, including the production of this film, and still chose to die for our sins. So it's actually Jesus' fault on an even more massive level than that.
To
He
be
allowed
fair, I
this.
chose to die after watching this film, like, you know what I mean?
So yeah, that was what tipped him over the edge. He was like, "I've got to die for this now." That was the moment.
Right.
We watched Lesbian Vampire Killers. 2009
2009's,
British,
yeah.
and I use this phrase advisedly, comedy horror, starring James Corden and Matthew Horn, two Titanic actors of the age.
Written by one man who is somehow an entire committee formed of everyone in Britain with a Nuts magazine subscription.
Yes. It is a movie that is so fucking shit, dear listener, that James Corden himself disavowed it, said it was the worst mistake of his filming career and that nobody should watch it.
And yet, what happened? You know?
Yeah, what
We
did-
decided
yeah,
to
explain
ignore
yourself,
his
Sinan.
warning. Okay, so as I was saying, my friend who got blamed on this podcast.
No,
for
you
this,
got blamed. Fuck you.
I got blamed. I blamed him, and so that's the situation as it is. He said, because usually he worked at the cinema, which, like, as a teenager is like the dream job because you get the free tickets. And I'm gonna blame him for a specific reason. Usually he'd be like, "Oh, there's a girl I like. I'll take the girl to the cinema with the free ticket." Couldn't find a date that weekend. Decided I was
who's some dickhead I hate?
Well, yeah, we did fall out quite badly later on. So yeah, maybe this was the sign that was coming. But yeah,
This is the catalyst.
yeah, this might have been it. But he was like, yeah, why don't because like usually what would happen is he'd be like, yeah, we'll go watch like a normal film that would come out in 2009 or 2010, not this.
like Borat or some shit.
Well, yeah, that was, to be honest. It was that kind of area at the time. But the other thing was, look, this is about the fact that we've watched this is really a story, a lesson, a morality tale about the prison that masculinity is. Right?
Yeah.
Because I, as a teenager, did not have the language to describe many things about myself. And at the time, I felt like, oh shit, I'm going to get dunked on by my friends if I don't go watch a film about lesbian vampires. Because of how that attitude formed.
I would have just found
You heard
good
it.
friends. I think that's...
Yes, no, that was a problem.
What you're saying to me here, Son, is that Lesbian Vampire Killers turned you non-binary.
Maybe that is maybe the moment I realized in actuality. Like I didn't have the language for it. That was the moment where I was like, you know what? Actually, fuck.
Yeah, not for me. Actually, not for me.
Yeah, I was like, if this is the confines in which I have to live, I won't live long. Was like the conclusion I came to.
There's something to that, because when I watched this for the first time 2 hours ago, I had this like weird kind of cringe reaction, but centered solely around my cis hetero male self, begging, crying out to just not be that anymore.
What am I saying?
This fucking sucks.
You know? And it's also because
so bad.
Because theoretically, at the time, I was the exact demographic this film was made for, which is a 15-year-old boy. Like, that is who this film was made for. And even back then, I was like, well, yeah, we didn't have that. But
like nuts or loaded or HTML or
whichever one from Zoo Country.
HTML. Sorry. Yeah, that classic trapping of masculinity, HTML.
I also love the idea of Reading, the specific suburb of Reading I'm from, being Zoo Country. Like, what? But there you go. Yeah, so that's it. That was the lesson that we've learned, actually. Masculinity is a prison. Don't watch this film.
It really is.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
Don't
definitely
let
the worst film.
Trap you.
This is definitely the worst film I think I've ever seen. And I've watched some right old pieces of shit in my lifetime, but this is just something else entirely. I don't know who it was at what point that decided that James Corden was funny, but no one has ever been more wrong in the entire human endeavour.
And you know what's horrible about that is no one has been held accountable for this. Yeah. That's the problem. Yeah. That's the real thing, because we need to find out who did this to us as a society.
The thing I also want to add on top of that, because he does sort of walk in the shadow of James Corden, is that Matthew Horn cannot fucking act. Seriously, the most wooden actor I have ever seen. Granted, terrible script, terrible movie. However, just the most flat delivery of pretty much any line throughout this entire movie.
The thing is, though, you've got to remember he was in a double act with James Corden, and James Corden's the one that went on to be famous. Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine being outshined at literally anything by James fucking Corden.
Because they were doing Gavin and Stacey at the time, I think.
Yes. A show I did not watch. So actually, I have no idea how much appeal this could have had on that basis.
No, me neither. Have we just discovered the demarcation point for, what turns people into wrong-uns or something?
What if you enjoy Gavin and Stacey's? Yeah, but all of us have watched this. All of us have watched this now, so what does that say about us?
It says that you make terrible choices on podcasts.
I guess episode 401 is going to have to be Gavin and Stacey, so we can just find where everything went wrong.
I'm not coming back.
I'm drawing a line under this. We are not watching any more James Corden content. It's done.
Drawing a line under it. All right, Care. All right.
David, I'm sending you the nuclear launch codes. Butler.
I am fucking turning them on myself right now.
Watch 300.
James Corden's got to get a grip, has he?
Yep.
Get up, go home. We don't agree with what you're doing.
I'm changing the things that need changing, and what needs changing is the James Corden content on this podcast.
Yeah. And he is right to say it.
Mm-hmm.
No, but like the main thing about this movie is like genuinely to the point where like about 3 minutes in, it just stops being like sort of like crass and awful, and you just sink into the misery. This is like if you wanted to present like a textbook study of like male gaze the movie, this would be it. It's just an endless fucking series.
Simone de Beauvoir, it is not.
No. It's an endless series of focus pulls on asses and tits and lads.
It's lads.
Yeah. And like, it's called Lesbian Vampire killers, and therefore some women kiss. And the way the women kiss, you can tell this is, a straight man's idea of what it's like when hot women kiss each other. It's just...
I was watching this, and like my daughter-in-law like fucking asked what I was doing because I was sighing very loudly as she went like passed through the fucking room, and I was like,
well, that's
I'm
good.
watching the
You
worst.
have to do that so everyone knows that you disagree with it.
I was like, I'm watching the worst fucking film I've ever seen, and she asked what it was called, and I was like, oh, it's Lesbian Vampire Killers, and she was like, oh, that sounds interesting. I was like, no. It's people who it's like two lads who kill lesbian vampires. It's not lesbians that kill vampires. Do you know what I mean? Like, and she's
Which
like,
is, by the way,
right.
what I thought it was when I was 15, and because I hadn't seen any promotion for it, so I assumed it was that.
Yeah,
I was pretty disappointed to see James Corden.
I was gonna say that would have been a better film, but literally anything would have been a better film. Do you know what I mean? Like fucking
definitely.
Dracula 2000 was better than this.
Yup.
Yes.
And I fucking
Yeah.
hated Dracula 2000. That was
Say what you like. Say what you like.
To this.
Say what you like about Jared Butler. I've never seen a film with him in where like the opening narration included the word vagine.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake!
Should we
I
just get
forgot
into it
about
then?
that again.
I think that's a yeah.
That's the best
Yeah,
segue
that's
into
that's
it.
a starting gun.
Yeah.
God, I'm so sorry, lads. I'm actually sorry for this one. this is like genuinely the one time I feel bad about it.
Aim the gun at me next time.
The one saving grace, and this is the one thing I will say in its actual favor, it is under 90 minutes long.
Yes, that would.
feel
A
like it, though,
merciful
does
God
it?
does exist.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's over 5 minutes long, and I feel that any points it gains on one is lost by the other because this should have been a Funny or Die sketch in 2009, so that no one could have watched it, and all of society would have been spared.
Yeah.
Just awful. I genuinely just forgot how shit it was until I rewatched it, and I was like, "Oh, this
Even
is
the
gonna be
fucking-
a rough watch."
Even the Saturday Night Live writers would like watch this and go, "This is dragging a bit, like, isn't it?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, for such a short film, it does feel
Yeah.
like a fucking eternity. It's like a black hole.
Yeah, I know.
What the
I
fuck did they do?
swear to God, it took me less time to watch all 3 Lord of the Rings films.
I recently did a rewatch of all 3 Star Wars prequel films for reasons that we don't need to get into. And that genuinely felt shorter than watching this film. Even with the sand line and the terrible dialogue, it felt so much shorter watching all 3 of those
The
films. It's
emotional
like 8.5
support
hours.
genocide.
Yeah, the emotional support genocide, which, was bad, and I know that's going to upset someone when I say it in the thing I'm working on, but it was bad, actually. So there you go.
Our tale opens with essentially a mid-aughts video gaming intro, or at least you think it is, but then it just turns out that it's incredibly shit CGI. And the first thing you see, it's just like, bang, we're straight in there, it's shots of tits. And it's like, it's just the whole vibe of this movie. Every time a woman is in shot, think lads mags from the mid-noughties. The noughties were like a cultural death zone.
Cultural abyss.
They were like fucking...
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you can only send stalkers back to, like, fucking explore through there. But it's just...
I'm pretty
Anyway,
sure it generated quite a few stalkers.
We very quickly set... I hate... whatever. I'm just going to use a word which it doesn't deserve, which very quickly set the mythos of the movie, or the premise, which is there was very...
The
There was a very bad and evil lesbian vampire princess queen who was very evil and of course had to be slain by the most righteous people in the universe. Who are the most righteous people in the universe, you may ask? It is white men who come back from the Crusades because, that's what the good guys do around here. Cool.
I don't think we can skip over the fact that like this for some reason is a recurring theme through the movie. He pulls a sword from a massive vat of cum, or it's cum.
Yeah.
There is
is
cum
so much
throughout
cum.
this
It
movie.
is.
There is, I swear to God, gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons of cum in this movie. It is fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, it is not even
Oh,
the
fuck
writer's
my
barely
life.
hidden fetish. It is just the writer's visible fetish spattering all over your screen all the fucking time. I read a brief interview with one of the cunts.
The writers asked to leave the public place fetish.
And it was just like, I read an interview with either the director or one of the writers, and they said something like, it was just the funniest thing. We really wanted every scene to have James Corden or the other fucking cunt like spattered in goo because we thought it was funny. And they thought it was funny because they can't stop fucking doing it. And what happens in the main, if you ask, well, where does the cum come from? Apart from ask your parents, it's an interesting conversation. In this case, it's every time one of the lesbian vampires dies by whatever means in the script, she, who loves other women, explodes in a geyser of cum.
The film is a Freudian nightmare, and that's the easiest shorthand for the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly, really.
I'm astonished by its IMDb rating being like 5.1. That astonishes me. It's like surprisingly high. It's something like 5.1.
Yeah, it is 5. I'm looking at the page right now. It's 5.1. Like of 22,000 ratings. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
Hold on, I'm gonna look up.
Give me the tomato meter, please.
On the plus side, one of the writers never worked again in any field, it looks like.
Allow me to compare a film that Jamie is familiar with to this. So this film has a rating of 4.3 on IMDb. It is the Turkish film The Man Who Saves the World, or Turkish Star Wars. That's rated lower than this. And I think that's actually racist. I'm not going to lie. I think that's actually racist.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie. I'm playing the race card this one time, I think. I think I'm allowed. Because, what the fuck? Just because it does a little bit of plagiarism doesn't mean it's worse than James Corden. That's all I'm saying.
I think all 22,000 of those people who rated this a 5.1 are all on football Twitter.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, so the point of the prologue is that our brave hero, I say again, the Crusader Knight, kills the evil vampire lesbian queen, but as she lays dying, she gives him some scratches on his chest and says, you and everybody in the surrounding area are now cursed. On the moment of their 18th birthday, all your daughters will immediately turn into, undead lesbians, and so shall the curse go forever and ever. Until
how does that work?
Until a descendant of the Crusader Knight.
For the village to continue on for hundreds of years after the Crusades, does that not require?
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because James Corden's character does kind of hit on someone who's not 18 yet. So that does actually kind of happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of in that village. That's all I'll fucking say about it.
And that pub, that really creepy pub that they have in there.
Yeah.
Which I have absolutely had.
Arms.
I have absolutely had that specific experience of walking into a pub and having everyone look at me in a rural part of the UK and just being like, I'm gonna die here. So I guess it captured something real, at least once.
Yeah. Anyway, at the end of the voiceover, because this sets the sort of the pace and the tone of what I regret to call comedy, is like there's a voiceover that narrates this whole bit. And one of the last lines in the voiceover is, and with that, he lopped her fucking head off. Smash cut into modernity. It is the modern day, and the first thing you have to know about a lot of women in this movie is that they are evil bitches who are irredeemable because of reasons. Jimmy, being played by not Corden. I don't know this guy's name.
Matt
I'm
Horn.
also not bothering to remember.
Poor man's Ramsay Bolton.
I think I want to say about the first scene we see him in, he's sat on like this sofa, and he just looks like a child, but with a grown man's face. It's quite impressive, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's again young Labour. This is what it is all over again.
You can tell this is where the comedy really kicks off, though, because his girlfriend's breaking up with him, and also you can hear the neighbours fucking really loudly.
Yeah.
It's hard to hear the neighbours shagging, though, because of all the cartoon sound effects that people are making.
So, Jimmy has a girlfriend who is a stock character called the Bitch Girlfriend. And he is being dumped by his bitch girlfriend. That's kind of
seventh time, as is pointed out in the film.
Yeah. Anyway,
multiple times.
Anyway, that's Jimmy. We've established he's kind of a dork and a loser, and he has also no capacity to act whatsoever. Here's then your other main character, who is dressed like a clown. Literally.
It's mocking us. This is mocking us for watching this, right? That's what's happened here.
Yeah.
We're being mocked by the film.
Yep. I know writers who use text, etc. Yep.
Here's the other main character whose name I've also forgotten. He's just James Corden, because James Corden always plays James Corden playing James Corden. And he's playing a children's clown who's getting fired by his, what's the alternative to the bitch girlfriend? It's the bitch boss, who's also very sexy
also
and sitting cross-legged on
kind of look like the girlfriend as well. Like,
yes,
doesn't she also kind of look like the girlfriend? It's really, every woman, kind of looks the same in this film. It's really weird.
Yeah. Corden is playing one of those, he's playing as if he's got a job which is supposed to be funny regardless. He is playing a children's entertainer, a clown, an actual clown, who is getting fired because, as we quickly establish in the next 5 to 10 minutes, or 3 minutes. This movie is very bad at keeping track of time. But essentially, what happens is James Corden has been fired for assaulting at least one small boy and one small girl, as we later find out. This is played off for laughs, but he did assault at least 2 children violently, and we are supposed to sympathize with him as he's getting fired.
So you can see who the film was made for.
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
I mean, another terrible product of the county of Berkshire, by the way.
This is essentially just like a fucking a precursor, Missing Link style affair to that fucking Ricky Gervais Netflix thing where he just went around being a cunt to everyone, and people were like, "That's so funny because he's just a cunt."
He's just a guy from Reading, to be honest, and I'm not just saying that. But also, I found out, and I found out that James Corden might actually be our fault as well. I've actually recently learned that he liked to hang out a lot in Reading, actually at a bar that I'm very familiar with, and I'm like, oh no, it's another fucking Reading, because it's Jeremy Kyle, Chris Tarrant, fucking Ricky Gervais, James Corden now, we're stacking them up. I don't think we can forgive the town.
What I have just learned is that we need to stop Reading until we can find out what the hell's going on down there.
Yeah. I know what's going on down there, man. It's a hellmouth for cunts.
Yeah.
Why do you think I brought this film to you? It's because I'm from Reading. How did we not figure this out?
Yeah, they're just like this.
Yeah, this is also, we're about literally 5 minutes into the movie. This is the first time I started checking Blue Sky to distract myself because I couldn't take it anymore. And we're 5 minutes into the 90-minute movie. So make of that what you will.
Yep.
Anyway, we have now established that our two main protagonists are at a particularly low ebb in their lives. I'm going to be polite about this. And they therefore meet in a pub to have some drinks. And the pub is called The Bush Inn. Because,
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Because it did 9/11.
Yeah, that's right. That's what Somehow this film went back in time and did 9/11.
This bit where they're in the pub, have you ever seen anything that more wanted to be Shaun of the fucking Dead in your life?
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Because the setup is identical. The theoretical character setup is kind of identical to it. And it's so weird that they didn't get what worked about it at all. Do you know what it is? The thing is, Shaun of the Dead is like a good zombie film, right? That's the thing.
Yes.
It's an homage to zombie films, but also a good zombie film. But but there's no like passion for the genre, like the horror element of the genre in this film. That's what's just clicked in my head with that comparison. Yeah, but there's no like appreciation for what works in it at all.
No, my favorite thing there is that they bigged this up as like they were trying to do like a Hammer horror style thing, and it's like Christopher Lee should have.
Yeah, I mean,
this film is trying to be a pastiche of like boobs and gore type movies, but it hates women so fucking much that it can't make any room for any actual cinema that is.
And it exists in that British comedy context of that period. So like it can't do it. It's like ill-equipped to do it because it's like the British TV comedy, not like actual like people who appreciate the thing. It's British TV comedy culture that's being distilled here.
It can't even do like sort of British lads, like British youth culture in a funny way. Like, I don't know, it's kind of an in-betweeners way. In in-betweeners, there's like constant chat about like vaginas and boobs and all that shit. But at least like
But they are teenagers. Comedy. They are like teenagers in that as well. And like, so like I was the same age as the in-betweeners as that show was coming out. And I was like, okay, these guys are pricks. But like, there's something to that, right? There's something real to that. Those characters like would kind of be like that. There was a Jay at school, right? There was a Jay at school, and there was a fucking loser like Simon. Yeah, everyone knows, like that. So like that rang true in a way that this just it feels like a parody of itself, but that has fumbled it like at the beginning.
Yeah, they have a discussion. They're sitting in the pub, and they're clearly drunk, and like they're having this, what I will likely describe as a conversation two humans would actually have, and they're like, we're both sad, we're both miserable. Why don't we go on a trip? And then James Corden says, well, why don't we go to Ibiza? And then the quote, for lots and loads of fanny and a load of vagine. And
I'm so sorry you've had to say that. We have to annihilate this culture. We actually have to do it.
Every time James Corden's on screen, all of the other characters should be asking, how did that cunt get in here?
And there is a point where they kind of do that, actually. There is a point in the film where that does kind of happen, which is really funny. Like, just because he's getting dunked on.
And like, as Sinan was sort of saying at the start of this, like this film is so good at encapsulating what the prison of masculinity is, because it's in this this pub scene, that you get lines like, "I'm not gonna bum you or anything," as Corden's character to Matt Bourne. Like, just constant like references to, being gay and whether or not something is gay, and there's dicks and all this other stuff, and it is just like, don't be gay, have lots of sex, and like,
it's kind of the last gasp of that stuff having like a lot of traction as well, and you can tell because like around 2009, 2010, that starts like fading out quite quickly from that point in a lot of stuff.
Do you want to know something I just remembered while we were talking about this fucking scene of them in the pub being lads? And I looked it up, and it was the same year, right? Has anyone seen a film called Doghouse?
No.
With Danny Dyer in. It's
no.
Essentially,
right now, I'm telling you, I won't be.
It's essentially it's a twin film for this, right? Because it's like Danny Dyer and Stephen Graham and Noel Clarke, I think. Yeah, Noel Clarke.
Oh, wow.
And some other fuckers. They go on like, one of them gets divorced, and so they all go like, we better go like to a remote village and have like a fucking lads weekend or something. And when they get there, all the women have been turned into like zombies or something.
Wow, that's
that's almost exactly the same thing. Great.
And also,
it's basically the same fucking plot, like, yeah.
Is this just a thing? Do British? I don't understand, because obviously I grew up in the generation that has no money to do anything, even going to somewhere in Britain. Was this a thing? Did people go to like remote villages on lads' holidays if they were a bit skint?
No.
Like, was this actually ever like this? Can't right?
I've never done it, but I'm not exactly a lad's lad though, so.
What I do also want to also mention is there's a little interstitial with this pub scene where the now ex-girlfriend who's dressed in sexy lingerie and a trench coat goes up to her, well, presumably new boyfriend, his house to be like, oh, I've finally broken up with him, and because we finally get to see the bitch face justice because her the boyfriend's wife is also there and now she is all alone. Yeah, take that, woman.
Yeah. But it's not just like the ex-girlfriend who is like, you know, and hey, whatever, dress what you like. It's a booty call. Have fun with it. Like, I support all that. Do whatever you like. But it's like the person who opens the door is like is the wife, and the wife is also dressed almost like a stripper. It's a lads mag photo shoot in every fucking scene. It's dire.
Like they're dressed provocatively, but in an annoyingly yank kind of way. Like, I am anti-slut shaming, but I'm pro yank shaming. Like, and the vibes of yankishness in this movie are off the fucking chart. It is unbelievable.
Which again jars with what they're trying to sort of do here. If they're trying to do anything, if they're trying to do like the Shaun of the Dead homage to the genre type deal, then you can't make it this fucking American and get away with it.
Anyway, the rest of the movie is set into gear, mercifully, because this pub scene is like a fucking nadir of cinema. And basically, our protagonists decide that they have no money, and they say we'll go hiking somewhere in the UK. And not James Corden, the other guy, says, well, I'll throw a dart on, at a map of the UK, and wherever it lands, we go hiking. That's just what it's going to be. And it lands somewhere near Norwich. So I guess we need to warn Nick
Rob,
Wright,
did you notice the little FHM-esque picture of a woman on the dart?
No, I did not.
Because I sure fucking did.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
Just completely unnecessary.
Anyway,
just throw a normal dart.
Yeah,
They
go... Clearly there is, there's sort of the implication that there's like hand of fate shit going on, because the moment the dart hits the board, there's like a big thunder crack, and, they are on their way to an adventure. What's-his-face brings like a full backpack because he thinks he's going hiking. James Corden brings a plastic bag full of beer cans and a fistful of condoms because... kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like Matthew some cunt like sees him with the handful of like Johnnies and goes like, "What, are you expecting a water fight?" And that's like Chekhov's fucking condoms at that point, isn't it? Because like,
yeah, I didn't even fucking clock that, but yeah.
See, no one can blame you for not clocking it. It's not worth paying attention to as a film. So,
the next bit where the ex-girlfriend calls Matt Horn again. And again, returning to the yank problem, says that he can wear her panties. I genuinely cannot think of any British English woman who has ever referred to them as panties. It's just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
Feels alien. Alien.
Death to yankification. That's what I'm calling for.
Do you think this was all just like a ploy to like crack that vital overseas market?
Just to get him out of the country. Get this cunt out of the country. We had to do this as a necessary step. That's what it was all along.
Yeah. In order to get James Corden out of the UK, we had to have women call them panties and also wear, for some inexplicable reason, the same things that like cowgirls in the southern states wear.
Yeah. Anyway, so she calls him, she says, Matthew Horn, I want you back so bad, blah, blah. And then James Corden destroys his phone, and I notice she's like, they destroyed my phone, I don't care. So they go hiking, but after 3 minutes...
Anyway,
James...
though, wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't need to destroy your phone.
Yeah. They go hiking, but not really, because after 3 minutes, James Corden needs a rest, because, he's fat. So he can't,
God, they really do hit every fucking note in this, don't they? Of like that period of times, like just awful sense of humor, or like it wasn't
Yeah.
even that widely held at that point. But they really are just like the last gasp of that. Like,
yeah, it is a little bit
horrible
past
era.
the. It is a little bit past the like fat families, deluge that was the early to mid 2000s.
The Jamie Oliphant, yeah.
Oh no, that man is a fucking eternal.
Yeah, we'll never be rid of that cunt.
Hi, this is Rob. I'm disturbing your delightful in-ear entertainment to tell you that we have a Patreon at patreon.com/praxiscast. You can go there for more episodes, our Discord, bonus clips, and much, much more. This is also me begging you for your money in exchange for goods and services. Thank you. Oh, very well then. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Get ourselves some snacks. Bye. You know what we haven't seen in like 5 minutes now, and you know the intended audience for this is probably like fucking, scratching their bollocks and throwing popcorn in the air.
Yeah,
and, I don't know, just
chewing the
generally
chair in front
behaving.
of them and so on.
Yeah. So you know what we obviously need now? Hey, what do you know? It's a smash cut. And we get a group of young women in a kind of Scooby gang.
Yeah, fucking
van.
multiple Daisy Dukes turn up.
Yeah. Yes.
Hmm.
And
in
they
the mystery
are,
machine.
Yeah.
Daisy's
they
Duke.
are. I thought they were like in some kind of band. However, it turns out to be not that. But they're all, dressed like in Daisy Dukes, revealing outfits. Again, shit you would see in fucking lads mags all the time in this period.
And they're all Swedish as well.
I thought they were all German.
No, I thought they were Swedish. I thought
They're Swedish because, it's like it's the
Continental.
ultimate lad's fantasy to meet like a bunch of Swedish girls because
Is that the specific fantasy? Is Swedish like?
Yes. Yeah, specifically Euro
Is this
Trip.
ABBA's fault?
That sounds like some Jay from In-Betweeners bullshit, right? to
no,
me,
that's
like-
exactly that kind of vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's specifically the atrocious teen movie Euro Trip, which was made in the wake of
Oh
American
Christ
Pie and
alive!
shit.
That
Oh God! I'm just
talk about a bad movie.
oh Christ! Like I've just had memories flash into my head there. Jesus, we've got to move on.
We get some more casual homophobia because we smash cut back to our two protagonists, and James Corden says to I don't know, Jamie Hoffa, that he will claim your testicles back, but not in a gay way because
What are you gonna
just-
do with? I just don't understand how that.
this
could
is
have been
not
interpreted
gay
as
because
gay.
being
Just-
gay is weak.
I just like the idea that saying the word testicles makes him gay. Like it's such a weird. Fucking,
Yeah.
To be
Like-
fair, we were at that time we were at peak no homo.
That's
know?
true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That
that's
is
true.
the peak
Boy,
of
was-
that shit.
Boy, was that a terrible lie
can
on
I
my
just-
part.
Can I just be the first to say some homo?
Yeah,
As a trip,
more than some in my case. But,
Little a homo.
As a treat, yeah.
sake.
Don't worry though, the homophobia is not done yet because now we go
good.
to the rural pub because all the beautiful
Wow,
women were
that-
just leaving the pub, so our two protagonists go in expecting more beautiful women to be there that they
Oh,
will
it's-
obviously
it's the-
easily seduce.
Why would
such-
that be the case?
It's such incredible comedy though, because James Corden's like, we've got to go into that pub. It's like the bit in, the bit in fucking Deep Blue Sea where fucking Sam Jackson. Sam Jackson has the big rant about like, you know what I mean? I've been in like a million fucking situations, and I know we've got to close that hole, and then a shark gets him. He's just like that same energy of like, there's gonna be so many women in that pub. We've got to go in there right now. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck?
I'm going to tell
they
you
go,
now.
they
Except
go,
that-
go in expecting to find lots of hot women, but instead find a pub that is in like the east of England that inexplicably is full of people with West Country accents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, because there's only pub men in this pub, old men specifically, one of the two says, I think it's Jimmy Hoffa, that it's, quote, like some sort of medieval gay bar.
Yeah.
Tell me you never go into pubs.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
They actually get a free beer. This is explained later because, spoiler alert, all the men are sending the young people into the vampire death zone as some kind of tribute so they don't get killed, blah, blah, blah. The pub landlord gives them each a free beer, and then Jimmy Hoffa says, I'm just a bit worried I'll get raped if he drinks it because, again, there's
Jesus.
men in the bar.
Yeah. Stylistically, the pub reminded me of the pub from Withnail and I, which was like, you know what I mean? Which was a good like segue into the fact that like fucking I from Withnail and I turns up like 30 seconds later.
Yeah, yeah. Playing the vicar, the vicar from The Exorcist with the hat on. It's the whole.
It's the whole vibe. Like, yeah, he's fully leaned into it.
Oh, you see, I would have said it was more a touch to the fucking vicar in Peter Jackson's Brain Dead.
I don't think the people who made this movie are as clever as all that. I think it's just The
I don't
Exorcist,
think the
but
people
I'll
who
take
made
your
this
word for it.
movie had seen another movie.
They're the only people who have made more movies than they've watched.
Yeah, they just blended up a big fucking barrel of lads' mags, for which I presume there were just hundreds of millions lying about in like rural England at the time, and distilling it down into its pure essence and running it for like 86 minutes.
Dry stone wall, but it's made entirely out of lads' mags.
I fucking knew a guy at university who had like 2 walls of his bedroom covered in pictures from lads' mags, and it was the most unsettling thing I've probably ever seen with my own eyes.
So you've mentioned that to me before, and I went like, yeah, I saw a lot of that at university, but then like you reminded me you went to university a lot later than I did.
I went a bit later than Alistair, and I didn't see any of that. So I guess it just there was a hard
dying
cut off between
breed.
us. Yeah,
Charlie, I hope you loved Lesbian Vampire Killers.
Yeah.
you would have loved it, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll continue doing some movie again, I guess. So, in walks a vicar looking suspiciously like the guy from The Exorcist with the hat on, who has his 17-year-old daughter with him. And my notes just go, I'm so tired and I'm so sad and I just don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, the barman says like the barman alludes to the fucking ancient curse and says like, I know you're upset, vicar, because with your daughter about to turn 18, and James Corden goes like, "Ooh, 18, I like that."
Still,
my notes say James Corden says 18, love it, and then I am pulling an unhappy face right now.
Yeah.
I don't know how old James Corden is meant to be, but he's way too fucking old to be saying anything like that at all.
Well, presumably he's been to clown college, so he's at least in his 20s.
That's it. You stood in my way for long enough.
Anyway, the vicar sort of recognizes Jimmy, and obviously
I just looked it up. James Corden was 31 when they made this film.
How was he my age when he made... what the fuck? What do you mean he was my age? Fuck off. Oh my
Jesus.
God. He looked terrible. I mean, he's always looked terrible, but still.
Look, I will not be defending this man, but even James Corden says this movie was the worst mistake of his career and you shouldn't watch it. Even James Corden,
And yet he still made it. Curious.
Yeah. Anyway, the vicar obviously recognizes Jimmy because, if you haven't worked it out yet, Jimmy is the great son of the noble crusading knight. Cause,
he's the professor to Philip J. Fry. Yeah, got it.
Because... And he's obviously here because, otherwise we wouldn't really have a plot of the movie. Speaking of which, it's like 30 minutes in and not a fucking thing has happened yet. After the 3 pints, the barman, because obviously the barman and like the other old people in the pub are there to like feed innocents to, the Hellmouth with the evil lesbian vampire queen inside it. And they send them off to... essentially the evil cottage. It has a name, it doesn't matter. It's essentially the evil cottage because it's surrounded by fog machines and creepy trees. First, were you getting a bit worried about your heterosexuality, seeing too many men on screen for like
always
all of 5 minutes? don't you worry about it. The fucking mystery machine with all the women is back. And one of the women says, I like you so much better when you're naked. Because, you know, tits.
Yeah,
you
like,
see?
and
That's the
like,
song that's playing.
the Yang aesthetics again are like, you know, my detector is, you know, beeping at max at the moment. I just hate it so much.
There are multiple detectors beeping in this film. I'm going to be real about it. It's not looking good.
Yeah.
The van, the camper van they're in is very American coded, though. It feels like it should have had a wizard painted on the side of it. You know what I mean?
It's from Scooby-Doo. Like, it is straight out of it. Like...
Yeah, and anyway,
It's the
they're
Dr.
all...
Krieger van.
This is essentially where you get the really weird thing where like that all the women are doing accents, but they sort of fade in and out of them, and they're either Swedish or German or some kind of, you know, Euro women are hot and really want to sleep with James Corden and the other fucking guy with the personality of a plank of wood.
Actually, they very specifically don't want to sleep with James Corden. That's actually one of the main things for quite a bit of the film.
I mean, the bit where so James Corden rocks up to the side of the van after it's broken down mysteriously, and just lets himself onto the fucking mystery machine, and just says to one of the girls, "You're my type of girl," and then like stares
Looks
at
at
one
her
of the
tits.
women's cleavages, and it's
Multiple
just like,
times in the same scene.
multiple times, yeah. And I literally, viscerally cringing in real life while this is happening. It is painful to watch. This is the most painful movie we've had to watch. We've watched bad movies before, right? But a lot of it you could just sort of switch your mind off. But this is engaging my brain and engaging the fight or flight response.
Yeah, anyway, the van breaks down. There's like a whole scene where they pretend that, you know, there's ghosts outside or something scary is going on. You know from having watched any movie in the history of ever that this is a fake out, because in the woods is something much scarier than, you know, immortal vampires, monsters, ghosts, wolves, wildlife. No, outside is fucking James Corden scratching at the side of your bus.
Let me in! Let me in!
Yeah.
Genuinely, that is pretty much what's happened. God,
This
I
is
hate
again.
this
This is meant to be entertaining. It's really not. And hey, guess what? It turns out that, you know, the sexy women and fucking James Corden and the other guy Jimmy, they're all going to the scary cottage because the old man in the pub all pointed them there. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen in the next, you know, in the second act of the movie. Hooray! And anyway, as they drive away, we get a shot of an evil, presumably lesbian vampiress in the fog, and also another shot of Jimmy's ex following in a shitty little car. And then we get another FHM or Lads Mag scene because they get to the creepy cottage and the women put on some very fucking mid-90s or noughties like fucking dance track from the club you hated when you were 17. And they do...
Put some respect on Wigfield's name. Why don't you?
Yeah.
Rob, sorry, you missed out the very important scene where the ex goes into the, you know, the quote gay rural club or whatever it was, and the landlord gives a weird misogynist speech to his fellow patrons in the pub after the ex leaves, and calls all women sirens and demons. I mean, this movie is trying to tell you something.
It's in the text.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, man.
I actually forgot about that for real. Like, I genuinely did not remember that scene happening.
Did you prefer this scene where the landlord refers to all women as sirens and demons, or did you prefer the pissing scene?
I mean...
Yeah, we'll
I
get there in a
all.
moment, I suppose.
I hate it all.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. Anyway, this is we're going to speed this up a little bit because we're half an hour into the movie and we can't just like...
We're matching the pace of the movie.
We're going to have to like limit the amount of times we point out how much this movie hates anything that is not a straight white male. Because it is... Just take it as read in every single fucking scene in this movie at this point.
Yeah.
So we get another idiot lord
I don't even think it's necessary to recount the plot in detail because For something that feels like it takes 3 hours to watch, there's actually very little fucking happens.
Nothing happens.
Oh no,
for the
you could
first
do the
30
plot
minutes of the movie.
in 5 sentences.
Yeah, it's fucking wild. Like,
We also
so it's just an endless fucking procession of like fucking bigotry of varying stripes, isn't it? You know.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
so
just
shit.
it's really, really, really shit. Anyway, there's another sort of lore dump about, you know, the evil vampiress and how you kill her and all that shit. Because essentially what happens is, you know, there's 4 women. There's the one who never talks, who's the one that James Corden wants because, quote unquote, I want her because she's hot and she doesn't talk. Cool. That's a cool thing for a man to say.
You're underselling that actually, like, because he doesn't say hot, he says has big tits.
Yeah.
Oh, I do so apologize to the scriptwriter who, you know, fucking whatever. And finally here, about a third at the start, this is the start of the second act, so we're introduced to the danger, and hey, guess what? The creepy cottage has vampires around it. Oh no, there are vampires in the forest, and, you know, there's some jump scares that don't really work.
Just don't let them in.
mean-
You know, it's vampires. Like,
Yeah.
which, not to spoil
There's
what
one-
happens.
There's one line in the movie that I almost found funny, but it's James Corden, so I didn't manage it. Is his character says something like, I know something really wrong is happening, but can we just ignore it? And I'm like, all right, fair enough. I'll give you that one. We
Turn
get
the
some
film
more
off at that point.
incredibly
Just take his
gratuitous
advice.
lesbian vampire porn, vampires, lesbian vampires.
Yeah, there's a woman in the shower. Like,
Yeah,
fucking,
we
do
see
you
the
know what I mean?
first.
one-
We see.
The one thing
We
I
see
did
the
want
first-
to add, though, is that after the women leave the room that they're all in because of, you know, various vampire related reasons, and Matt Horn's character starts going on about how much he likes what's her name,
Lottie.
Lottie,
Velma. She's just Velma. It's just
Yeah.
Velma.
It's just straight
Yeah,
up, though.
Yeah, I really like her because of how pure her soul is, and it's like, wow, what an odd thing to say.
What an odd thing to say about
Yeah.
someone you met essentially an hour ago.
Yeah. Who
Like,
was- you know,
purity
but you
becomes
see,
a recurring thing that people
Yeah, I
make
was gonna
references
say,
to.
It's because he's descended from the fucking magic knight that can kill
Yeah.
vampires or whatever, and the girl that he like thinks is really pure is still a virgin, because that's an important plot point later.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, it is.
Somewhere in the midst of all this fucking piss, like they find out vampires are on the loose, and they all fucking have to run away from them back into the house. And then the ex-girlfriend turns up, and he invites her in, because like nobody has ever fucking, you know what I mean, like seen a vampire film before, I guess. They're not particularly aware of the genre. He invites her in, and then James and they explain there's lesbian vampires on the loose, and she's like, "What? That sounds stupid." And James Corden says something like, "Oh, I know, yeah, it's great, isn't it? Next, I'm going to get bummed by a big gay werewolf."
Yeah, pay attention to that little plot point, everybody, because it's gonna come back.
I mean,
Gonna come back. It's what you all wanted.
Yeah, I think although that this bit came just after the one thing that did actually make me laugh, which is when some of the characters are running around in the woods from the various lesbian vampires and so on. But there's like a weird, like a wide Bolsonaro shot for some reason, which I quite enjoyed. The single thing I enjoyed in this movie, to be honest.
Yeah, so a bunch of shit happens that doesn't really matter. This is the bit of the movie where we also found out what we were talking about at the start of this movie, or at the start of this recording, you know, several thousands of years ago. Vampires are simultaneously, you know, very strong but also very weak, and they are easily dispatched by various methods. But the main thing you need to know about all this is that, you know, lesbian vampires, when one dies, they explode in a geyser of cum. Because, you know...
And it really is a geyser. It's
yeah.
bizarre.
And it
What-
really
Yeah.
is cum.
Yeah, they brought in barrels worth of cum for it. Yeah.
Yeah, you really got to hand it to these guys. They know how to make something funny appear on your screen, as you can tell by how enthused we all are with this. It's a comedy masterpiece, really. Like it's definitely up there.
It is certainly one of the comedies of all time. I would say so.
Yeah. It's also, fucking, evidentiary item number 1 in the tribunals.
I think there's more before this.
Yeah, there are some slightly more serious.
See all of points roughly at Western civilization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, gestures wildly.
Every year, some bunch of dickheads does a thing where they poll a bunch of like fucking boomers to find out what the funniest moment in British comedy ever was, and it's always Del Boy falling through the fucking bar. And like compared to this, you can see why they like it so much. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Honestly, I yearn for Del Boy falling through the bar.
Yeah, we need to
Yeah,
get,
at
we need to get
least-
back.
Yeah, at least he wasn't actively haranguing women in that scene.
Yeah. I just, as a cishet white man, I yearn for death after this movie because I deserve it. Every one of us
yeah,
deserves
you know
it.
what you did.
Yeah.
Are you
Anyway,
hoping one of
there's
those is going to make it through the edit?
if I make enough of them. It's just
That one will, to be fair.
Yeah. Anyway, if it wasn't clear to you yet, here's the vicar yet again to do the plot exposition, saying, "Hey, look, Jimmy is the son of the son of the son of the important crusade knight. He has to kill."
This was honestly one of the worst attempts at comedy I've ever fucking seen in my life. Right, so like, the film has what are its like 2 fucking like vaguely interesting attempts at vampire like related things. Right, so James Corden goes for a piss while fucking Matthew Sumcunt and I can't remember the Anna something, the actress. Anyway, the other 2 are like fucking hanging about and accidentally invite the vampires into the house in a hilarious scene. But James Corden, meanwhile, is having a piss, and he's like, he's like looking at himself in the mirror, and we see the mirror's point of view. So then you see like the fucking shower curtain behind him move on its own because there's actually like a vampire coming up behind him, but you can't see her because of the mirror. And then the vicar like bursts in, and James Corden's like all fucking affronted because the vicar's interrupted him with like having a piss.
Piss in the
You
sink.
know what I mean? And
By the way,
Yeah. yeah, because the cottage has a working sink and shower, but not a toilet. The toilets are outside.
damn, it's almost like it's a contrivance of some kind to create a specific
Yeah.
situation the plot required.
Yeah, but they
Required.
do a mirror gag, and then like fucking like Paul McGann runs in and like starts fighting with the vampire, and you see it like just him basically fighting like on his own because of the the vampire doesn't show up in the mirror, and that was a cool shot. Do you know what I mean? If it had actually been included in a film, you might have enjoyed it. And then the other bit is they get a vaguely interesting idea to kill this vampire. Paul McGann like fucking tells James Corden to throw her into the shower and then blesses the shower water.
Oh Christ! Yeah.
And you're like, that's actually like a slightly interesting idea, but then they have to spoil it by turning it into a hilarious bit because the vampire's naked and like obviously she's just going to step out of the shower. So Paul McGann's like fucking push her back into the shower, and James Corden has to grab her by the tits and push her into the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that joke segues into her melting because of the holy water and James Corden becoming disgusted because he's touching wrinkly old lady boobs. And then the vampire explodes in a shower of cum, and James Corden is left holding 2 breast implants. Rolling in the fucking aisles at this point, like, weren't we? Do you know what I mean? It's just...
Yeah. It's
The
unbearable.
worst episode of Doctor Who that ever happened.
Yeah.
Moffat's done it again.
Well, I mean, there are sequel hooks in this, so I guess and suppose.
And, yeah, I mean, fucking hell.
Yeah.
That was optimistic, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, there's some, at some point, James Corden says to the vicar, Jimmy is not the Messiah because, better movies with actual comedy in them also exist. Somebody runs off. Fuck it. It's time for the third act now. Everybody runs off in several directions. Jimmy gets captured along with Velma. They are captured by the Evil Queen's handmaidens, who are all like again, lesbian vampires whose main feature seems to be that if you're lesbian and a vampire, you kind of just like wave your arms about constantly. That seems to be the main.
I think the second
that
in
is
command,
the defining feature of the lesbian, to be fair.
Yeah, I
This
think the
is true.
second in command vampire is in Peep Show.
Yes,
which
I was thinking this as well. Much better in that, however.
yeah, much better in that. Much better. Well, even though it has blackface in it, somehow a less offensive piece of comedy overall, I would say.
Anyway, the stakes are thusly now. Jimmy and Velma are tied up, and their blood is intermingling because the blood of the Crusader and the blood of the Virgin can summon the Vampire Queen. Blah de blah de blah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
I want to know,
James...
right, with that whole vampire rising from a pool of blood thing, how does that look worse than the fucking same effect in Blade, like 12 years later than Blade?
God, no, that's
And still, somehow the Queen Vampire being summoned was probably the least offensive thing in this movie.
True.
Yeah,
true.
probably.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, anyway,
Good
so
point.
like at the same time, James Corden is off with Paul McGann and they're opening like the ancient crypt of the Crusader or whatever to get the sword of dildo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
by the way is actually what it's called. Like that is
Yeah,
the
Paul
actual
McGann
name.
pronounces it like Dieldo or something, like, you know what I mean? But we all know he's saying dildo, and then when fucking James Corden finds the sword, the handle is literally a dildo, and it's like, whoa, I see what you did there. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then there's a bit later on where, because obviously the prophecy requires like fucking Matt some cunt to kill the vampire with it because it was his fucking granddad that killed her originally or whatever. He's scared to pick it up in case he catches gay. There's like a shot of him like reaching for it and then going, "Ugh," do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
the handle's shaped like a
Yeah.
knob.
Yeah,
It's
there's
just-
also
it is the most
there's also
the
the
most
not
lads film that's ever existed.
yeah, there's also the not at all subtle implication that the queen of all the lesbian vampires can be defeated with a big cock handle because
Yep.
you
Yeah.
know
Yeah. Yep, that's
we're
right.
doing that.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's some terribly unfunny bits between James Corden and Paul McGann that I
There's some terribly unfunny bits between James Corden and fucking everyone. Let's be
True,
real.
yeah.
the
Kind
vic-
of his like fucking.
he
It's
kill-
kind of his like motif.
Yeah.
yeah, the quite literally, and I do mean this like unironically, the now barely legal vicar's daughter has, because she's turned 18, and the second you turn 18, you become a lesbian vampire. She's a lesbian vampire now, so obviously James Corden has to kill her.
Which he does by accident.
And also says, I can't remember if it's James Corden or her character who says, all grown up. And then I've just got screaming
Yep.
in my notes.
It was her who said that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
that-
it was her.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Came straight from the Daily Mail to say that. Yeah, he kills her accidentally with the
cock
with
sword.
the fucking
Yeah.
the cock sword while flirting with her.
Just by the way, what if she wasn't a vampire? Like you've just killed
Yeah.
me.
I mean, realistically, that is the ideal relationship for a lot of men in this country.
Yeah. Fuck.
Sorry, that may be a bit dark.
That made me feel a bit more depressed than watching the film did.
Anyway, meanwhile,
Take
Jimmy
it again,
and
but say in this Labour Party instead of country. See if that works.
Anyway, Jimmy and Velma are still tied up with twigs and branches. Velma says, "Jimmy, I love you." Why? No good fucking reason. Plainly states without any sort of hint that I'm a virgin. I would have given my body to you because I love you so much. Why to say that these two have
She's
not
known him
quite
20
believable
fucking
relationship
minutes at
is
this point. Like, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
I just assume it was his like beaming personality, his charisma, and all the rest of it that just immediately made her go, "Yep, he's the one for me."
anyway, we get to what is surely one of the worst fucking moments of the film. We didn't mention earlier on there was a bit where fucking James Corden like said something about like fucking when the vicar explains that like they were sent to the cottage as a sacrifice. James Corden goes, "You mean we were just a buffet for a bunch of dykes?"
Oh fuck.
yeah.
And then when he comes in with the vicar to save them from like 20 or so lesbian vampires, James Corden says like fucking something like, "Oh, all right there, you bunch of clam lappers."
Yep.
And it's like,
Literally.
who the it's just fucking honestly like,
I feel like I repressed the memory of that bit because it's like it's happening to me again. What the fuck?
It's called trauma.
Yeah, maybe.
It's real fucking bad. Anyway, in the meantime, James Corden has filled all the condoms he brought with him with holy waters.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
You know, water balloons.
Chekhov's water balloon fight.
Yeah, Chekhov's water balloon.
Yeah.
The vampire queen wakes up. She immediately starts making out. All the lesbians start making out, you know. And hey, for some reason, who cares? Jimmy and Velma get loose. Velma is no longer like the character she was for the entirety of the movie, but is now actually like a kick-ass fighter woman who can like go toe-to-toe with like the second ranked vampire in the whole gang. The cock sword makes its way back. Jimmy's afraid to pick it up because, you know, if you touch a cock, you're a homosexual. Velma gets to at least behead one vampire, so I suppose there's one woman with, like, I don't know, a smidge of agency. That's about as good as it can get for the rest of the movie. James Corden doesn't die. I'm very sad.
Sadly.
That was the worst part of the film.
Matthew Sumcunt throws the dick sword, and it, like, fucking cuts the heart directly out of the vampire queen, and she dies, and then they all drive away. But
before they drive away... James
do
Corden bemoans that all of the women are still
yes, and he specifically cries about it.
Yes.
Yep, it's unjust to him specifically.
That's
Fuck
right.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they do sequel bait, which again is the most optimistic fucking thing I've ever seen in my life, frankly.
Well, they do one thing right before the movie ends, which is like before we get to the sequel bait, because like I did want to get to that, is you see it's like a, you know, like a shot like through the front of the car. Obviously the woman sitting in the back and the two men up front because the natural order has been reestablished. And they say not once but twice they say the name of the movie. Hooray!
Yeah, the one time I did love them saying the name of the movie.
That's the sequel bait because they're talking about how, like, because they're saying they should go home, and then she's like, but, like, we can't just go home. There's other, like, lesbian vampires around the world, and we should go and, like, fight them. And then they go, what? We should become lesbian vampire killers. And it's like, wow, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to milk this one for all it's worth.
And then you see the second bit of sequel bait, which is, it's a full, as they're driving the CGI car away through the CGI woods, because a car and woods are impossible to locate in modern Britain.
Yeah, we got rid of them.
Yeah, you see,
Gordon Brown sold all of the forests and the cars.
Getting rid of the cars. This is Starmer's Britain. Yeah.
Silhouetted against the moon is a werewolf howling, but with a limp wrist because it's a big gay werewolf.
Doing the little teacup thing because, you know, you remember how James Corden said, bummed by a big gay werewolf? Well, here's a big gay werewolf.
Fuck my life.
Yeah.
My closing thought for this movie was that the movie was more respectful of vampire lore than it is of women.
Yes.
Yeah, it did
Like, it's got.
And
I mean,
that's a film where they filled all the vampires with cum, and it was still more respectful of vampire lore.
Apart from the cum geezers, it was like you could still kill them with beheading and like fucking stake through the heart and so on.
And also crucifixes repelled them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, holy water. Yeah, you got all the.
You got to invite them in. You know, like the TV license man.
Yeah.
The real cum geezers were the ones that went to the cinema to see this.
All right, well, you know.
Look, cum person, let's be real.
There was one geezer.
Person of cum.
New fucking username just dropped, thank you very much. You're gonna make that my username.
Oh.
I'm just gonna change it in your server without like explaining it at all.
And that's the end. No moral.
No, there is no moral. No. Well, I mean, there are a lot of morals, but there's just none of them David will let me say.
Yeah. The moral is don't do this again. Stop making films.
Have women not suffered enough?
Yeah.
Have I not suffered enough?
Well,
no.
I guess my closing thought about the film.
Let's settle this in a way that the film would understand, please.
Yeah, about the man. But my closing thought is, I'm so sorry. I would like to apologise on behalf of myself at age 31 and myself at age 15 for this one. I feel like we both let the team down a little bit on this one.
Like when this was the movie that was for some reason decided that we were going to do for the 400th episode Cultural Committee, I thought this movie is going to be quite bad. I was not prepared, dear listener, for how dreadful this movie is. This is the first time I've ever seen it, and I staggered beyond belief. Like, it is beyond expectations for.
I want to be clear.
Outright hatred of women.
I told them how bad it would be. I told them, and yeah,
you didn't tell me.
I'm pretty sure I did, and
The point is, it doesn't matter because Jamie decided that this is what was going to happen.
I'm sorry, but Sinan suggested we should do it, and who am I to turn down a bad idea?
I suggested at least one other thing, and you said, no, it has already been decided. We must do this.
Yeah, because we said on an episode, the time to complain about this happening was before that episode came out. It was during the edit. Before anyone had heard that we're
going to get West Streeting style disclosures.
Your bad decisions are not flagged to me in legal for some reason. I wonder why.
You were there when we said it.
All right, this is more than enough behind the scenes shit. We all hate each other.
Yeah.
We've done 400 of these fucking episodes. That's what you get.
Congratulations, by the way.
Sinan.
Yeah,
we hate our guests.
You can all sleep on the big sofa.
All of them.
Not just the person with cum, but all of them.
Yeah. Do you want to promote anything while you're here? Well, tough shit.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's lost on people now. Like the opportunity's gone after this. But yeah, I will say I don't know when this is coming out, but I will be releasing a video on Valentine's Day about how unfuckable Anakin Skywalker is. So
Oh, this should be out the day before.
Oh well, there you go. Dropping tomorrow. If you're listening to it on the day, how unfuckable Anakin Skywalker is. It's coming. Well, unlike in the film. But anyway.
Yeah, all right.
2 days of serious romance. Anyway, leaves us only to say, it's been 400 episodes of this. If you're still listening, thank you very much for listening. If you're a cishet white male listening to this,
what Rob means by that accepted fucking beeping noise is go to patreon.com/praxiscast and pay for your sins that way.
Yeah, we sell.
Twitch streams, twitch.tv/praxiscast. The Sunday streams are now back, and
maybe more streams to come.
Bi-weekly Thursday streams should be coming, and then also even more potentially. Wait and see. But yeah, that's that. Merch available at praxiscast.tmail.com. You know the score. Thank you. It's been 400 episodes. I'm so sorry. This is what the 400th episode was.
I'm so glad.
Come back for the 500th, in which we will not be doing this, and I will decide what is happening.
Yeah, normal service will resume next episode.
Yes.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.